Hello everyone and welcome to the light video for this week. I'm exhausted. It's the end of the school year and I'm also dealing with a little bit of a flare-up of a joint issue. So I'm just not feeling up to it this week. I might record one more thing this week related to Virgie. I would like to work on the Virgie content some, probably closer to the end of the week though. But anyway, today we're covering one story from Am I the Asshole and one story from r/relationships. And we're going to start with the Am I the Asshole story, because despite the fact that I was trying to take a break from fat logic stuff, I couldn't help but find this Am I the Asshole for making my sister-in-law feel like shit about her weight. And I thought it was interesting, and so I wanted to share it with you. 35 female, and my sister-in-law is 46 female. I have 3 children, the oldest being 16 male. For my birthday last week, my son went out and bought me this swinging hammock chair that I had been wanting for 2 years, and it cost him quite a bit of his saved money, which I fully intend to put back in his bank account so he can continue saving. He was so excited to see me open this gift and couldn't wait to help me set it up. I told him he shouldn't have, that it was a lot of money, and his response was, "You never get anything nice, I wanted you to have it." And it was true. I usually don't get anything for my birthday or Christmases outside of Tupperware or soaps. So it might sound stupid, but I have cherished this swing ever since he got it for me, especially where I finally have something nice that's mine. My sister-in-law comes over once a week to see all of us, and she immediately headed for my swing, which my son hooked up on our deck. I told her to please not sit on it, and she said, "Is there a weight limit?" So I told her yes, 250 pounds. I even showed her the box to confirm. She was not upset about this. She just said, "That's a bummer. They need to make something capable of holding us big girls." I simply agreed with her and went about my business. At this point, my husband shows up from work. When I went inside to grab us some drinks, her and my husband were talking on the porch, and not even 5 minutes later, I hear a loud crash and my husband say, "Fuck, are you all right?" I go out, and sure enough, she had sat on my swing, and the crochet netting around the hook snapped on one side, causing her to fall right on her ass. She was sitting there laughing, gets up, and says, "I guess I need to learn to listen." So I lost it. As I said before, I literally never get anything nice. Never. This is the one thing that I had that was mine, and it didn't even take someone a freaking week before they ruined it for me. So I said, "I literally just fucking told you not even 20 minutes ago that it would not hold you and to please not fucking sit in it." She makes some comment about, "Usually the weight limit is a lie. I thought it would hold." So I said the weight limit probably would have held if you were only 50 pounds heavier than it, not 150. She's 420-ish pounds because she is one of those girls who eat food on camera for money and absolutely loves her weight. So regardless, instead of apologizing or offering to compensate me for my destroyed item, she has resorted to saying I'm a shitbag for making her feel like her weight is a problem and my husband is on her side. It's just a fucking swing? Oh, dude. The, husband clearly doesn't understand. Like, if you say you never get anything nice, or if you're a mother of 3, with the oldest only being 16, meaning that the other 2 are at the very least likely in middle school or like freshmen in high school, so 14, but probably between the ages of 12 and 14, but could very well be younger. So you do full mom stuff. Primarily you get Tupperware and soaps, so people don't really consider you when they're giving you gifts. And people don't really consider you when they're getting you gifts. They kind of go with the kind of stock thing. And you literally fucking told her to please not sit in it. This has nothing to do about her weight. This has to do with her consideration for someone else's fucking property. That's what that means. This is not about you picking on her weight. You pointed out, rightfully so, that the weight limit is 250 pounds, and this woman is, we'll say, around 400. that is significantly over the weight limit. Like you said, 150 pounds over the weight limit. And she still tested property that was yours that you had explicitly told her to please not fucking sit in it. Not the asshole. And quite frankly, your husband needs a good talking to, because you're not targeting her weight. Like, you need to clear that up right the fuck now. You're not targeting her weight. You're targeting her inconsiderate and rude behavior to sit in a hammock swing chair that you explicitly asked her as a guest in your home to please not sit in it. She was a guest in your home. She's the one that breached etiquette, not you. And then she laughs it off. She doesn't offer to replace it, which it would be, like, the proper thing to fucking do. Like, you broke someone else's stuff. And like you said, you hadn't even had it a week. It was a brand new hammock chair. Brand fucking new. She used her weight as a way to escape any sense of guilt and any sense of responsibility for her actions. She used her weight as a shield because you didn't target her weight. You brought up a reasonable point of, she's like, weight limits, usually the weight limit is a lie, which is not fucking true. Weight limits are there based on the maximum amount something can hold and still maintain the relatively high level of integrity. So it's not that they are a lie. It's that it shows more possibility of breaking as you go over that. This woman was, what, 2/3 over the weight limit? Like, the weight limit and then an additional 2/3. No, it's gonna break. And the fact that it's like a crochet hook that's just, yeah, it's pretty clear that this item isn't meant to hold a 400-pound person. But we're gonna take a quick look at the comments. Not the asshole. Tell your husband that he can buy you a new one because it's just a fucking swing. Yes. Yes. And your husband and sister-in-law can apologize to you and your son. That's another thing. That poor boy. He used, like, 16. And he had consideration enough for his mom and recognized the fact that a 16-year-old recognized that his mother doesn't get thoughtful gifts. Or, as they phrase it, something nice. That shows significance within the family dynamic, because it's not that 16-year-olds are incapable of seeing that, but it's not even so much that it's rare, but it has to be fairly obvious, I think, for most 16-year-old boys to pick up on it. Only then will everything be okay. You don't get to break shit and laugh about it. I agree. Yep, OP is not the asshole. Not only did she disregard what you said, she laughed about it and didn't apologize. Oh, that's a good point. I hadn't even noticed the complete lack of apology. She definitely owes you an apology as well as your husband. Yes. And quite frankly, because she had been explicitly told the weight limit, and because you explicitly asked her not to sit in it, this wasn't an accident, she should pay for a replacement. She should. Not the asshole. Your sister-in-law needs to compensate you for it, as well as apologize. Yes, she is heavy. She knows it. She deliberately sat in your swing even though she knew the weight limit was lower than her weight. As far as I'm concerned, she has pretty much broken it intentionally. That's actually something I just considered it as a disregard and just a disregard for OP's wishes and a disregard for general etiquette of the house. But if we're bringing intent into it, that's a good point. Did she intentionally, like, was she jealous? Was she jealous and didn't think OP deserved it or something? I'm just wondering. Also, any decent person gets embarrassed when they break something that doesn't belong to them. Yes. No matter how it happens, especially if the owner gets upset about it. Instead, she's playing the "you fat shamed me" card to get out of the situation. Yes. Yes, she's weaponizing her fatness. 100%. We can't even say it's a mistake at this point. The owner said not to, the manufacturer said not to face swim backlash. Yes! Not the asshole. She just tried something special of yours and didn't even apologize. I'm not sure she's very embarrassed, but she knew the consequences of her actions and did it anyway. Your husband sucks too. To be honest, I guess I need to learn to listen. Sounds like the response of someone who's ignored directions before and is going to again. I agree. It sounds... That was something that I noticed. I didn't really comment on it, but it does seem like She seems, just from the little bit that I've gotten, sister-in-law seems relatively self-absorbed, and I think she really, that attention that she gets from eating food on camera online for people to pay her, like, I think has boosted her ego to the point of not absurdity, but overinflation. That actually sounds wrong because it sounds like I'm commenting on her weight again. I'm not. I'm just saying her perception, sister-in-law's perception of what is appropriate and what is okay, just because of how you feel in the moment, because you don't want to listen, because you don't like being told something is not appropriate. Not the asshole, but what kind of marriage do you have where you comment multiple times that you have nothing that's yours and never get gifts aside from soap and Tupperware? That honestly sounds terrible. It does sound a little bit like her husband isn't a thoughtful person. Like, I don't know if I'd go so far as to say toxic, but I don't think that he is considerate of his wife. Yep, the moment I saw this, I wasn't surprised at all when the husband took sister-in-law's side. It sounds like a horrible, uncaring partner to have. I agree, he sounds uncaring. I'm not surprised, but glad that the child grew to be so considerate. So often I've seen children pick up on the less considerate parents' ways. Alright, one more. Not the asshole, you weren't fat-shaming her. She literally ignored and dismissed your warning about the weight limit on your cherished birthday present, and now she is 100% responsible for destroying it, but refusing to take responsibility. Yes, thank you. 100%. Absolutely. You were not fat-shaming her. I'm so glad that someone else brought that point up. You did not fat-shame her. You pointed out how her not listening and thinking that weight limits usually lie was somehow justification of her actions. You pointed out the fallacy in that argument that she put forth as an excuse for her not listening to your request and your basically instructions for your property. You were simply holding her accountable for what she did, and you are absolutely entitled to be angry. She is the asshole for this, and your husband is the asshole as well for not supporting you. 100% this isn't about fat shaming. This is about her ignoring a legit weight limit. She's an asshole, and so is your husband. Yes. Yes. I'm so glad. Okay, I'm now satisfied. Someone brought up that it wasn't fat shaming. I am now satisfied. So this is the r/relationships post. I thought it sounds like someone who's immature, and I love looking at immaturity. So we're going to do that now. My 26 female brother, 34 male, is mad because he thinks I'm ruining his relationship with his best friend, 33 male, when we got married and started a family. My brother's best friend and I started dating 5 years ago. We've been married 3 of those 5 years, and at first my brother was happy and didn't care. Actually, he was the one who played Cupid, but lately, ever since our second daughter was born, he's been acting so weird. It's like he hates our relationship all of a sudden. 4 days ago, it was my 26 female husband's 33 male birthday, and he decided to take a short family trip to celebrate it. So we celebrated it. Just him, our daughters, 2 female, 6 months old female, and I, nobody else, and we thought nobody cared, but my brother, 34 male, did. The night before my husband's birthday was over, he texted me to let me know that I was ruining his relationship with his best friend. I told him I didn't know what he was talking about, and he started saying that I stole his best friend and now he doesn't even want to celebrate his birthday with him, that he doesn't go to the boys' nights either, and that it's my fault because he spends all the time he could use with his friends with me and the girls, that it's like he doesn't have a life anymore. And that's not true. My husband prefers to stay home because he wants to. He only goes to the boys' nights when he wants to, and that's because he doesn't feel comfortable with them like he used to. They're all single, including my brother, and living crazy lives. And my husband is on another page, so he says that's why he doesn't like spending so much time with them. And I respect that. I can't force him to go if he doesn't want to. I talked to my brother, I explained all that to him, but he keeps saying it's my fault. That he wants us to be together, but he didn't expect me to trap him with a ring and kids so quickly. And hearing that hurt me because both of our daughters were totally planned. Neither was an accident that happened because of someone. My husband talked to him, but he didn't understand. It's like he thinks I brainwashed him or something, and I don't know what else to do. They have been friends since kindergarten, and the last thing I want is for their decades-long relationship to be damaged because of me. So I want to try to make everything go back to the way it was before, if that's possible. But I don't know what to do. Maybe I should invite him over to our house or something. Or maybe plan a boys' trip, or invite him to our next trip. I don't know. I'm willing to do anything to fix this. Just to clarify, my husband also had a really crazy life before he started dating me. I've known him forever, and no one would have expected him to become a father and husband. So I guess it's normal that everyone is shocked that he has this life now, because it's like everyone was sure that I would just be a phase, and that he wouldn't change that life for me or any other woman. But he did, and maybe that bothers my brother and his friends. I don't know. TLDR, my brother accuses me of ruining the relationship with his best friend, and he's mad at me, and I'm afraid he'll hate me forever. Honestly, this is just a case of your husband being in a different place in his life. Like, priorities change when you get married and have kids. It's not priority anymore to go out partying with the bros when you have a 6-month-old and a 2-year-old at home. And from the sounds of it, they were completely planned, which means he was ready to take this next phase in his life. He was probably ready to retire the crazy lifestyle. Maybe that's not really what he wanted. Maybe he played along because your brother acts like fucking this, when maybe he had that lifestyle to keep up with your brother and his friends, and he didn't tell your brother because he acts fucking like this whenever anything changes, or he doesn't want to do what the guys want to do. Maybe he's been wanting to settle down for a couple of years, and he got tired of the party scene, and he got tired of all of that shit. Sometimes people tire of things much earlier than others. And clearly your brother doesn't handle when people don't do what he wants them to do. And so he's looking for someone to blame, because God forbid he should have to amend his relationship with his best friend to meet, so that way they can meet in the middle of where they are. Maybe don't go out with a crazy party. Maybe you guys meet at a bar and have a couple of drinks, but it's not like a crazy night out. Maybe it's not getting wasted. Maybe it's just a socializing event. And that doesn't seem like where your brother is. But your husband clearly is in a phase of his life where he wants a quieter life. This has nothing to do with you. Not really. I don't see it as anything to do with you. Your brother clearly needs to deal with his own shit. But we're going to take a look at a couple of comments. Your brother is experiencing the first of many, many close friends moving away from social friendships being their whole life and into family units who take priority. It's childishly immature to blame the romantic partner in these cases, and if he keeps doing that every time one of his close friends settles down and deprioritizes the social group, he's going to burn all his bridges and run out of close friends in a hurry. That's very true. Your brother needs to get a grip on this. It's great for him that he still has an active single social group at age 34, but maybe it's left him naive and inexperienced with this side of life. People who build families have to put those families first. He can't expect people to put his family as a lower priority than his platonic social group, and his friends won't expect that of him if he settles down. Maybe your husband could reflect on whether he's been neglecting the social group and your brother a bit, and if he could try to see more of them. But I suspect that's really not the case. And it's just the brother acting out of fear and unfamiliarity with this very normal part of growing older and then blaming you for it. This is it exactly. Okay, very kind of just agreeing. A lot of people just agree with that. This one looks wonderfully sarcastic. You are a monster. How dare you make your husband so happy that he wants to spend all of his available time with his wife and kids? Joking aside, I wouldn't let this bother you too much. Just curious though, is your brother in any kind of relationship? I think she said he was single. I'm getting the vibe that your brother is struggling, that your husband has grown up and moved on, while he still wants things to be like they were 10 years ago. I agree with this. Your brother seems a little bit like that person that gets very stuck with the way things are, and that's the way they should be and should always be, and that's just not how anything really works, which is all on him and not on you or your husband. I'm curious what this one looks like. It was downvoted. What does he say? I agreed the wife is to blame. Did you not read that at all? However, growing up doesn't involve ghosting your friends. I don't think that he necessarily ghosted anybody. The husband ghosted anybody. Or distancing from them. It can actually, growing up can be, there is a little bit of distance from your friends. And that sometimes it's a mutual distance. Like, you both recognize that, hey, we both have busy fucking lives, but let's try to make an effort to get together, once every 2 weeks or something like that. Where the brother seems to be more like, let's get fucking hammered every weekend. That's not healthy. The brother was upset about not spending one day a year, a birthday, with his best friend. It's not like he's asking for way too much. Okay, but my counter to that is, when you have a family, it's normal to spend your birthday with your wife and kids. That's not unusual. And then, like, the actual birthday tends to be with wife and kids, and then, like, the day before, the closest weekend or something is a friend day. Sometimes it's the other way around, but, like, it all just is kind of based on the person. I think you're reaching a little bit there. It's a normal thing to be upset about, but he definitely blamed the wrong person. But he can take him out for his birthday when they get back from the short trip. Just because he doesn't get to spend the actual day with him doesn't mean that they can't celebrate his birthday. Exactly. Why is it that day or no day, according to the brother? Brother's being ridiculous. Yes. I prefer to do something before or after my birthday with my friends, and I do something with family on the actual day. Exactly. Good point. That's a common part of adult life. There seems to be a general consensus. We're going to read one more grouping, and then I'm going to sign out of this video. Say something like, I never prevent insert husband's name here from doing things with his free time, and even give him free time from the kids to hang out with his friends. If you feel like you're not spending enough time with him, ask him to hang out. I can't boss him into calling you and spending time with you. He is his own person. I like this response best. Why the fuck isn't the brother talking to the husband about this? Because chances are, actually, now that this is, I'm wondering if, like, nothing, I don't think it was explosive by any means, but I'm wondering if, like, a conversation was had between the husband and the brother didn't like it, and so he's taking it out on his sister. But let me know what you think in the comments on one or both of these stories. And next week we start the Summer of Virgie. So I'm going to try to get at least the first video done, edited, and uploaded, ready for a premiere on Monday. So we'll see how that goes. I'm hoping I can get everything done how I want it. As I have an idea and I want to see it come to fruition. No updates on my life this week other than my joints are fucking killing me. Fell off the wagon a little bit with eating and training. I've realized that physical pain seems to make me want to comfort myself with food. And so I overate a couple of days, and I'm coming up with new ways to deal with that. So that's about it. I'll probably have more updates later, but that's all I have for today. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.